So Clacky's come in this morning and I've said, I ain't got time to do a video. I ain't got time to stop. I'm building the last batch of the ATA helmets. They're going to paint on Saturday. It's now Thursday. I've done it all day yesterday, 10 hours. 10 hours today, and that will get my helmets built from the stage they're at. I think an ATA or a tie is about an hour build, roughly. And from this stage, they're about half an hour because I've got all of my components trimmed out and ready to go. I think Simon's going to tell you what he's up to.
Okay, so at the minute I've gone through the pictures again on Star Wars helmets. And just looking at some of the sort of reflections that are in the black, it seems a lot thicker. So at present I'm going through each of the helmets and just making the black look thicker. I mean, it was brush strokes on anyway, we can see that from the original. So it's just a case of getting it on, letting it get to dry.
Why do you think it was brush stroked on when the rest of the helmet was airbrushed?
Well, the rest of the helmet was sprayed, but as we've seen with a lot of other Star Wars stuff, and knowing from behind the scenes stuff and that, with George it's never that simple. They couldn't just have it grey like they could have it white for a Stormtrooper. There was always going to be an element of, well, yeah, I like that, but can we do it different? And I think that's the case with this, because otherwise it probably would have just been a grey helmet with black teeth. So elements have been changed to give it more of a presence on screen, and I think that's why they did this.
So finishing the build, you might be thinking, still building helmets, but it's the old plate spinning routine. We've just got to do enough to keep everyone ahead of the next stage. And as long as these are painted before the tusks arrive, then we're golden. But we are getting to the point where we really need to make sure everything is done, because the tusks arriving is quite imminent now. So I'm just going through today, building these last helmets. These are all going to get painted base coat grey Saturday. They'll all be done Saturday. Our secret weapon on the painting really is a secret weapon. Simon free to do the detail work. Amongst others, Becca has painted quite a few of these. And another pair of helping hands who I can't name. Now it's all Simon.
Do you think that fits in with how it's theorised that a lot of the greeblies were added, certainly like the hoses and the box canister things, that's because once it's all grey you realise how many gaps there are in the helmet, and they've looked at it and gone, oh yeah, we need to change a load of stuff here.
Well, not only that is, I think that when you see it on screen and how the difference in the colour of the grey and how exposed it is, that piece of footage, it looks brighter. In some respects, it looks almost white in parts. And as you've seen other people doing white ATATs anyway, because of how that grey acts under flashlight.
There's some promo shots. Was it promo shots from the 80s where it does look like it's all white?
Yeah, yeah.
Wasn't that what was used on the cover of the art card? For the
it
figure
is,
as well?
yeah, yeah. Just going back to what you were saying about the Greeblies and that, though, I think as well that the fact that it was looked so light on screen, it was like as they try and cover and hide seams like they do on the TKs and everything else, it's like, well, we need to put something in there to hide that. And like, for instance, like this gap here and everything. So we've got hoses that hang down with BOC canisters and everything, just to cover gaps up that were in the helmet.
We've been waiting for rubber for the TK helmets. We had that problem, didn't we, a few weeks ago with the supplier just not being there anymore. Anyway, we've had the new rubber, but we've been waiting. They told us 3 to 5 weeks. When they tell you that, you're like, oh, I hope it's 3 weeks. And inevitably, it's always the longer time. And
I don't think you're in a position to comment on the delivery time here.
well, these are the problems. We've got a whole raft of stuff waiting for that rubber, but until the rubber's here, they can't be complete. It's annoying. Well, these are being done on my deadline. That's why I can't do a video, which is why I'm not doing this video right now. Looked at it on Monday. What needed doing, when, how, where and why. And realised that the best thing we could do is get our heads down, get all of these built, get them all painted this Saturday, and then that's a big element of it kind of finished. So that's where we're at. It's been a bit of a grueling week. Non-stop. I've had a day where I was like, consider me not here. Don't bother me. I'm concentrating, getting my head down. I did do that, Clarky, so that when you were here, I'd have a bit more time, but unfortunately, they didn't get done in the time, so here I am, doing them. I'm not doing your video. It's actually Thursday today, but it's like Good Friday because it's not even glued. Because our guys don't work Fridays, we do a 4-day week, Monday to Thursday. They're off on the Thursday, so it's Good Thursday for them. So they've got a good Thursday, a good Friday, and a good Monday. And I'll see them Tuesday. But today's Friday. And it's actually Thursday.
When this video goes out, it's Friday.
Yeah, as you're watching this now, I'm in the past. Let's not do that, I get confused with all that.
We're just waiting on 3D printed canisters for the back, because to get the right size, there are similar, which are still made today. I mean, the company's still around, but they don't make the size of canister that's on the back of this helmet. So, for instance, the canister you can see there reaches almost up to the ear here, and then it has the topper or the stopper on top of that. The ones you get these days are about a third of the size. In fact, I think I have one here. So those are the ones you can get now, and they are much smaller than what you could get back in the late 70s, early 80s. And they're the same company, but again, unfortunately, they don't make them that size anymore. So, to keep with our accuracy, we've decided to scan it and then have them 3D modelled, so they'll be exactly the same as what you see there. We want this helmet to be as accurate as possible, which is why we don't want to use those. We want to get as close as we can to the original. Luckily enough, we're in a position where we know a guy that owns one of the original helmets, and we can get access to it. But not only that is, there are other issues with this helmet. The fact that you've got the tube which comes down here into the canister on the front. I'm sure Rob said before, the particular twist in in the tube itself, we can get it, but it's twisted the wrong way. I don't know why. It's just a manufacturer's way of doing things these days. They don't do them the same way as they used to. To get hold of the other stuff is almost impossible because it's a throwaway item in some respects. So again, with that, we're having that, we've scanned that, having it 3D modelled. So obviously spending more time with the original helmet, there were elements that we weren't happy with, and we've gone back and we've redone, like the canisters on the back, the pipes on the front, to make them more accurate, because we want it to be, as with every helmet we do, exactly the same as what you see on screen. If it doesn't meet that, there's really no point in doing the helmet in the first place.
I'm just finishing the helmets. I've got 9 to go after this, which is 4.5 hours. What time's that going to take us to? Was it 1 o'clock now? Thursday afternoon. So I came in Monday, backformed all the bits that I needed, which is mostly faces, pre-trimmed all my components, got Connor to make me all my chin straps. It's loud, that. Can you hear that? So I'm getting this to the finish stage for paint, but they all need rubber and pillboxes yet. Then I need to wipe them all down with the panel wipe. Then I need to adhesion promote the rubber so the rubber sticks best, the paint sticks best it can to the rubber. So I've got my jobs, but today's job, complete the builds. And the goal is Monday morning, these will all be grey. That stage will be complete. And then we're basically at the dressing stage. So that means Paul, also known as Captain Greebly, will be casting away any missing Greeblies whilst he's doing B-Wing stuff. Yeah, so happy Easter. Don't eat too many eggs. Yeah, chocolate eggs. And I'm not sure what we'll be doing next week. Might be a general update, might have something more important to do. Or we might have something to launch. But anyway, thanks for joining us. That's where the ATAT is up to. Happy Easter. And I'm going to carry on with my builds. So some creatives that I know are all about creating the original piece or the sculpt. And then others are all about making the moulds is the bit that's the piece that interests them. And I think I like all of those bits, but I've always had this weird attraction to seeing multiples of the same thing built, like army building. And I think I've enjoyed these enough. I think we've been this custodian of these for long enough. And it feels like they're about to leave.